Madam
very
Speaker.
much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the issue is related. First, the leader of opposition has addressed the issue of brutality. After a by-election, the Honorable Mike Mawanda was declared a winner like today. The following day, he was sworn in. Madam Speaker, as the head of this institution, can you get us to know when the Honorable Nalukoola will be sworn in? The Honorable Mawanda was sworn in 24 hours. He was here.
Honorable
Then
members.
second, if you allow, Madam Speaker, and you answer.
Let me answer that one first. Let me answer that first. When a member wins, I wait for a gazette. When I get a gazette, that's when I swear in the member. So I'm waiting for a gazette. I need to hear from Electoral Commission before I do a gazette. And
the last times we were sitting, Honorable Speaker, we kept bringing critical matters to this House. And you did give us audience. We kept raising the matter of the brutality that was occasioned in the Kawempe North by-election. Government kept giving us commitments. I remember the Honorable David Mohozi was here. He gave a response expressing dismay about some of the happenings, beating up of people, journalists, and he promised to investigate and get back to the House. Honorable David Bahati, in the same vein, rose up and said this is wrong. And on behalf of government, he said he's going to follow up. He even said he will visit one journalist who had been brutalized, the one Miracle Ibra. He said government will even take care of the medical bill. And he said he would get back to us. And you, Honorable Speaker, tasked government to follow up and get back to the House. Honorable Speaker, the situation only got worse. It's as if the matters that we raised here and the task you gave them was taken for granted. The situation got a lot more precarious. Honorable Speaker, after our candidate in that race, the one MP Nalukoola, was assaulted, our supporters were brutalized, several leaders were brutalized, including on election day. In fact, Honorable Speaker, some of your members here were badly brutalized, still nursing injuries. Journalists were not spared either. They were badly beaten. Others were abducted and taken in drones, only to be dumped later with injuries. Honorable Speaker, can government provide an explanation to this House? Who was responsible for this brutality? We want to know, because we raised these matters here. The government officials who spoke, they expressed concern and dismay over these particular matters. Can we know who commandeered this? Who commandeered the brutalizing of leaders, citizens, a candidate in a race, journalists, who are simply doing their job? Who is responsible for this? I saw, Right Honorable Speaker, the Prime Minister, Honorable Robin Anabanja, Honorable Minsa Kabanda, Honorable Balam, make some remarks out there and say, we as the opposition were responsible. They even made remarks to the effect that we did these things to ourselves, we hurt ourselves, we hurt the journalists and beat them up and so on and so forth. Some ridiculous statements. But it would be important that government, I don't know if that's the position of government, maybe they need to tell us that the statements we had made by the Prime Minister, made by Honorable Mr. Kabanda and Honorable Balam, is that the position of government? That we are the ones who did these things?
Thank you.
Can we know, Right Honorable Speaker? And finally, Right Honorable Speaker, even though those were abducted and later returned, beaten up, the abductions are still on. I'd like to report that one of our coordinators, as a political party, one Bright Muhumuza from Western Uganda, was also abducted last night. We don't know why government continues to do these things. And for me, what hurts me, Right Honorable Speaker, is, and I want to call it pretense, honestly. When some ministers here do rise up and they say, this is bad, this is terrible, it's pretense because nobody is held responsible. It appears that's the position of government, because if it were not, government should be holding accountable all those who are doing these things. Somebody did say that those who are doing these things are doing them in favor of the opposition, so that we get sympathy. Why do you not take action? How many people have been held responsible for beating leaders, beating supporters in an election, beating up journalists, many of whom are still nursing injuries? Honorable Speaker, we want to know. It's not enough that you keep condemning the few of you who probably want to look good, or in my view, pretend and say that this is bad, we are going to take action. Where is the action? We so demand, Right Honorable Speaker. We are actually dismayed that up to now the Electoral Commission has not gazetted the person that won the Kawempe North by-election. We did follow up with the Electoral Commission, and they told us that they're still sorting out internal issues. We don't know what that means, because in the past, as we are saying, it's been done in record time, because the Electoral Commission is now funked as official. After they declare a candidate, legally they are funked as official. They no longer have any responsibility. They can't say they're still sorting this out, they're still investigating this, or whatever the case might be. Maybe government, because government supervises the Electoral Commission,
we'll follow up with
can they tell us what has caused the delay? In the past, it would be done very quickly.
When I am raising this, Madam, is because the Honorable Mawanda was sworn in 24 hours on record time. And then the issues that Madam Speaker, the leader of opposition, has raised.
Can we have some order?
Madam Speaker, I am a journalist. Before I became a politician, I was even covering Parliament here. I don't know, and I intend to bring a motion, Madam Speaker, inviting this Parliament to condemn first the brutality against the media, but also I don't know what we will do to make this government understand that the media goes to cover and give coverage to everybody, including NRM. But I saw ministers walking in 2 polling stations, armored vehicles. I last saw them when the government was battling Konyi. I don't know what was in Kawempe that made the government, including equipment for which they were arresting civilians. They said Dr. Besige had 1 pistol and he got arrested. Now they got members to go, because the Parliamentary Elections Act doesn't allow even to carry a gun, a simple gun at a polling station, even a simple gun. These vehicles I see with the president, I saw them in Kawempe at polling stations.
Honorable.
And thank you, colleagues. On the issues raised by the leader of opposition, you were not here last time, but we did report that the journalist was visited, and actually government, according to the CEO of Zambia, has picked up the bill. That is particularly what I committed in the House. Yeah, the first person. Regarding the situation in Kawempe, I'm a bit slightly, I was expecting a slightly different statement from the leader of opposition, but now that he has not said it, on the issues that he has raised, His Excellency the President issued a statement regarding the situation in Kawempe, and I'm not adding a word to that.
Honorable members, is call from Kalungu East County. Can I have order? Please stand up and we see you.
Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I heard the leader of government business telling the House that the President's statement cannot be added or subtracted. But Right Honorable Speaker, the Constitution is very clear. The mandate of the Electoral Commission is very clear: to organize free and fair elections, to declare the winning candidate, and all the processes. Now, it's not fair to hide behind the President's statement as if the President has taken over the Constitution. It shouldn't have stopped the Electoral Commission from exercising its constitutional mandate by declaring and indeed gazetting a successful candidate. I would therefore wish that this House, Right Honorable Speaker, puts it on record that we are increasingly getting dismayed by the conduct of the Electoral Commission in the affairs of Kawempe North by-elections. And we are disturbed that up to now, the results were declared. What is stopping the Electoral Commission from succeeding and doing its job? Then whoever is aggrieved, there is the legal redress in this country. Madam Speaker, you've been vetting justices of this country. They know very well what course they have to take if they are so aggrieved, if anybody is aggrieved, but not hide behind the President's statement and deny the people of Kawempe North a right for representation. Madam Speaker, as long as I'm here, I feel Parliament should take a note and look with dismay the very bad conduct exhibited by the Electoral Commission. I thank
Honourable members, it is to my best interest that I have my member in the House. It is to my best interest because I want my member in the House. I want the constituents to be represented. So we'll wait for the Gazette, and when we receive the Gazette, we'll swear in the member. So, Attorney General, you'll need to make a follow-up on that, on what is being raised. I've seen David updating you. Next item.
I think it would be a good thing that Honorable David Bahati clarifies. He was appointed to sit in for the lead of government business. Can he then, on behalf of the lead of government business, lay that statement here so that as Parliament we know we were raising these issues here in Parliament? It's important that the country gets to know what was said, what action is being taken. Please don't refer us to social media, to I don't know where. We are here as colleagues. Please lay on table.
And Madam Speaker, I can in a few minutes print it out and lay. Yes.
I will give you time and you bring it. Next item.